Have you ever felt lost? Like you're wandering in a dark and lonely wilderness? That's how I felt for so long, adrift in a sea of mistakes and regrets. The weight of my shortcomings pressed down on me, whispering that I wasn't good enough, that I didn't deserve love or forgiveness. The world tells us we have to earn our place, prove our worth. But the truth is, we all fall short. We all make mistakes. We all carry scars and regrets that remind us of our imperfections. And in those moments of despair, it's easy to believe the lie that we are beyond hope. But there's a truth that shatters the darkness. We are loved, not because of who we are, but because of whose we are. Children of a loving and merciful God. And his love for us is manifested in a gift so profound, so overwhelming, that it changes everything. That gift is grace. It's the realization that no matter how far we've strayed, no matter how deep our shame, God's love reaches for us still. He sees past our brokenness and offers us a love that knows no bounds. He offers us grace. Grace. It's a word that carries the weight of eternity, a concept that has baffled theologians and philosophers for centuries. But at its heart, grace is simple. It is the unearned, undeserved favor and love of God. It is a gift freely given, not something we can earn or achieve through our own efforts. Ephesians chapter 2 verses 8 to 9 reminds us, "For it is by grace you have been saved through faith. And this is not from yourselves. It is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast." These verses are a beacon of hope, a resounding declaration that our salvation is not contingent on our own merit, but on the immeasurable love of God. We don't have to climb a ladder of good deeds to reach God's loving embrace. His grace is a bridge that spans the chasm of our imperfections, connecting us to his heart of love. It is in those moments when we feel most unworthy that his grace shines the brightest. Grace is the whisper that says, "You are loved," when we feel unlovely. It is the hand that lifts us up when we fall, the voice that whispers forgiveness when we are consumed by guilt. It is the very essence of God's character, poured out freely on all who would receive it. The parable of the prodigal son, found in Luke chapter 15, verses 11 to 32, paints a vivid picture of God's boundless grace. A young man, restless and seeking independence, demands his inheritance and squanders it on reckless living. He hits rock bottom, longing even for the scraps from his father's table. Broken and filled with remorse, he decides to return home, not expecting forgiveness, but hoping for a servant's position. But the father, seeing his son from afar, doesn't hesitate. He runs to his son, embraces him, and welcomes him home with a celebration. This is grace in action, a love that welcomes us back with open arms, no matter how far we've strayed. The father's response to his son reflects God's heart for us. He doesn't wait for an apology or a list of good deeds. He sees our need, our brokenness, and he runs to meet us with compassion and forgiveness. This story is a powerful reminder that no matter what we've done, no matter how far we've fallen, God's love remains. He is always waiting to welcome us home, to clothe us in his righteousness, and to celebrate our return. His grace is a lifeline, pulling us from the depths of despair and drawing us into his loving embrace. For years, I struggled to grasp the concept of grace. I grew up believing that God's love was conditional, that I had to earn it through good behavior and religious rituals. But the more I tried to be good enough, the more acutely I felt my shortcomings. It wasn't until I truly understood the depth of God's grace that I began to experience true freedom and joy. It wasn't about what I did or didn't do, but about who He is, a God of boundless love and mercy. Embracing God's grace is a transformative journey. It's about surrendering our self-sufficiency and acknowledging our need for a Savior. It's about letting go of the weight of guilt and shame and stepping into the freedom that comes from knowing we are loved unconditionally. It's a journey that begins with a single step of faith, a willingness to believe that God's love for us is real and that His grace is sufficient for our every need. It's a journey that leads us into deeper intimacy with our Creator and a life filled with purpose, joy, and peace.